Honestly, I did not know much about the maritime industry at all.
It's initially anything related to the water, whether you're working on the boats or working off the boats.
I actually found it really interesting. They don't teach us a lot about the maritime industry. You don't really hear about it anywhere.
The maritime industry is a big part of Seattle's economy. There are a lot of livable wage jobs and a lot of opportunities to get into a field where you could, raise a family, have a substantial wage.
All our commerce comes to and from using the maritime industry. All of our fisheries is through the maritime industry.
To live in a city like Seattle, where this industry is actually really big and a lot bigger than you think it is.
We have a lot of areas with tugboats that are going up places.
The Youth Maritime Career Launch is a 3-month internship that we're taking 18 through 24-year-old young adults and introducing them to maritime careers that they never thought existed.
But we also are working with Sound Experience. We're working with Seattle Public Schools through the Seattle Skills Center. And we also are just working with Compass Courses, which is a maritime institute where they help provide trainings for our students to get them basic safety trainings.
We'd had friends from the Urban League come aboard the ship in past times, and then it just seemed really logical that we were looking to be able to reach young people of color in the community, as well as be able to look at the different strengths that organizations would bring to the table.
We work with Compass Courses where they provide trainings for our students, where our students will be certified in basic firefighting, personal survival techniques, first aid and CPR.
Of course, they get a good paying salary, but they also get, hard skills. So they learn a multitude of different skills. It just depends on which section of the maritime industry they're going to determine those more intricate skills that they may need.
We spent like 1 week on a sailboat and we did a couple of trainings where we had to suit up and get in the water, and there's things to learn every single day. You're always working, you're always learning, you're always getting your hands dirty on something,
I helped with a couple of very small rebuilds and did some basic engine maintenance and oil changes.
There's a lot of different jobs you can get within the maritime industry. A lot of them don't really require a college degree. When working on the vessel, you can be an engineer, you can be a wiper.
As well as shoreside jobs, working at the shipyards, boat building, working at the Port of Seattle, managing the different containers and things of that nature.
So everything in the maritime industry is just like any other organization. They need lawyers, welders, they need engineers. So there's a multitude of different positions that they can go into just based on what their interest is.
So when you become a mariner, and that's where a lot of opportunities are that need young people that are excited, that are trained, that are ready to go into on-the-water experiences and careers, you become part of it's one ocean, right? So you become part of a world where a global opportunity to be a mariner.
It's important because not a lot of people know what the maritime industry is. It is a great industry to be in. It is a very high-paying industry as well.
The fact that a lot of the things that we have, in our day-to-day life, from your phones, the tennis shoes that you wear, your video games and things of that nature, majority of all of these things come from other countries. So you would be right there, at the forefront of making sure that all of these things get here, safely.
Those jobs are critical to the economy. They're critical to the goods that come into our country and how these goods get distributed. They're critical to the ecology of the region. And I think those jobs are just critical to our economy. If they went away, the economy would in some ways grind to a halt.
So the median age for maritime workers currently is 55 years old. That means in the next 10 years that we're going to see a lot of retiring, and we actually see a lot of retiring already happening. And so the need for youth to become skilled, get excited, and be trained to get into maritime trade skilled jobs is more critical now than ever.
There's a gap of generations that are just not there. Everyone I was working with is so much older than me.
Why it's important for BIPOC youth to know about this as well is because there are far fewer young people of color that have access to the waterways. both because maybe their parents didn't, have a boat or didn't go sailing, or maybe they didn't know anybody who worked in the maritime industry, which had access to both, a commercial, say, fisherman or a Puget Sound pilot, or just the opportunities that the waterways exist for them, that they have for them, that they hold for them.
There isn't a lot of people of color in the maritime industry. There isn't a lot of women in the maritime industry. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to change that.
The maritime industry is really a predominantly white industry. So a lot of BIPOC youth and young adults don't really know about it, neither do their families unless they have somebody in the industry already. There's also like a lot of nepotism that happens within the industry because it is predominantly white and not a lot of people know about it.
But all you have to do is look at the water. All you have to do is look at who has boats. All you have to do is look at who's out there to know that there is very little access. You have to feel like you belong to this group of people that may not look like you, but you're welcome there. And that's what I think an education organization like ours, as part of this partnership, brings to the table.
My favorite part of this program is seeing cohorts come in pretty new, having different curiosities, not necessarily knowing how things work. And slowly but surely, they start, gaining traction and becoming maritime professionals with the blink of your eye.
Like, I'm only 20 years old and I've made so much money. I bought myself a car.
So I had the opportunity to spend some time with a couple of interns that came through this program to Sound Experience. And oh my goodness, they are incredibly engaging. They are fierce. They are courageous. And just to travel around with Kara and Malaysia as they were, telling people about this program and what it meant to them was extraordinary.
For this program and what my hopes are, I definitely want more youth to be more involved in this.
My hope for this program is that it will be one of the biggest programs that's known for creating opportunities for young people in the Seattle area, and a program that has many success stories of placing young people in these maritime careers and in these fields.
In the future, I hope this is a permanent program so that we can continue to give youth and young adults the opportunity to explore the maritime industry.
We want to create a diverse, world-class maritime industry. And in order to do that, we need more individuals, more employers that are looking to connect with our young adults.
Thank you, Urban League, for this opportunity and letting me join the program. And big shout outs to Grace and Bree for giving me all the support.
I guess shout out to Urban League and Port of Seattle. I'm so grateful that I got this opportunity.
For more information about our Youth Maritime Career Launch program, visit urbanleague.org and you'll see a tab that says Maritime Program.